Well, hey now, welcome to Fitz Electric Bar. I'm going to focus on a couple things that I've been listening to quite a bit recently. And this is the first, which is the Joni Mitchell box, The Asylum Years. This is The Asylum Years 76 to 1980. I've been collecting all of her archive material as well as the re-releases in these boxes. They've remastered the records, and this particular one, as many of you I think know, contains the fantastic and my favorite and many others, Hejira, Don Juan's Reckless Daughter, Mingus, and the live album Shadows and Light. Shadows and Light live album is a double, and Don Juan's Reckless Daughter is a double as well. Hejira and Mingus, both single records. Very nice box. These packages are beautiful. So the artwork, of course, is via Joni Mitchell. She created that artwork. She's just a beautiful painter. It's so interesting when you see, Bob Dylan and what an amazing painter he is, and many Ron Wood, many other musicians are also great artists. So it comes with this insert of her art. This, of course, won't do it justice. And there's also some more stuff there. There's a really nice, somewhat short, but really nice essay by none other than Meryl Streep, who talks about the power of Joni Mitchell's music and how much it's left an impression on her. And just the opening paragraph, there are some artists whose work we need like food. We come to depend on them to sustain us. We get mad hungry when we go too long without them, or just plain mad when they confuse us or put something in front of us we haven't tried before. But she just talks very eloquently about how much Joni Mitchell's music has meant to her. And she talks in particular about her experience of first hearing Hejira and kind of driving off to the side of the road and just being overcome by emotions listening to that record. And of course, musically and lyrically, such a fantastic record. But so looking at these, well, let's start, I guess, with the chronology of it that was in the package. So Hejira, I feel like not much more needs to be said. It is just an exquisite record. Now, I also have to say that I don't do shootouts. I don't tend to do comparisons, but the sound of these records, fabulous. I have a CD of this, and just getting this on vinyl, it's so warm. I think, again, Bernie Grundman, did all the remastering of this and did an exquisite job. This is a great record. I think anybody that knows Joni Mitchell knows this intimately, so nothing much more to be said. This one was one I'd kind of forgotten about, and it might, for me, be a little bit up and down, but man, it opens with Overture Cotton Avenue. I'd forgotten how great that is. Wayne Shorter does some saxophone work, soprano sax on this record. And of course, Jaco Pastorius, along with Hejira, he's on Don Juan's Reckless Daughter. She has such a fascination with wolves. I don't know quite what the deal is with that. But this first song, Overture into Cotton Avenue, holy smokes, it's just a beautiful intro, some really nice, clear, crisp, high-end, like the sounds of her guitar. And then this bass of Jaco comes in, and it almost feels like it just washes over like waves. And it's so heavy and so deep, you can feel it in your body when you play it quite loud. I play that song over and over again since I got this box. It sounds so good. And then he comes in later with some of his beautiful fretless bass runs, and the sound is just so great, just so great. So disc number 2. Now, the third one that I need to spend a little more time with, that I found a little bit more difficult, maybe a little more abstract, is her album Mingus. So this is music that she composed with Charlie Mingus, I think not long before he died. He actually died before completion of this record. And there's some interesting stories about how Charlie Mingus was a little suspicious of her at first, wanting to do things with her. And then they really, I think, developed quite a mutual respect and friendship, and Charlie Mingus wrote, 4 or 5 of the songs in terms of the music, and Joni Mitchell did the lyrics. And in fact, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, which I think was an older track, if I'm not mistaken, Joni Mitchell wrote the words at a later date, so if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, again, a little abstract. Album number 3 in the box, Mingus. And then the fourth record in the box, the double album, Shadows and Light. This is really cool because this is, the band is basically Joni Mitchell, Jaco Pastorius on bass, Pat Metheny on lead guitar, and Lyle Mays from the Pat Metheny band on keyboards, and Michael Brecker on sax, and then the vocals, background or additional vocals by the Persuasions. So this is really cool. You know, this is really well put together. So the just sort of like emboss here, you can kind of see it's beautiful. It's kind of inlaid a little bit there and here, and a little bit of a crease around the TV. And this is a really nice record. I really like it. Life Matters. I think David Atkinson kind of said that if he was looking at and ranking Joni Mitchell's albums, this would be the one he would save. I don't go so far as that. I think it's a really nice record and obviously a killer band. But I think the studio work for me holds up a little better than this, but it's so nice to hear different arrangements and different performances. So this is really, really great. So that's first on the docket, as it were, of what I've been enjoying. Another one that I've really been enjoying is, and I'm sorry I didn't take the plastic off, but Anouar Brahem. He's an oud player. And this record, so it's got Dave Holland and Jack DeJohnette, who of course played on many ECM records, and this is an ECM release. But this has got a lot of space, really beautiful production. The bass drum, the whole rhythmic thing is fantastic. And it really is a wonderful record to put on in the early morning. This is one of the themes I have, is something that you can put on without any vocals, that has lots of space, that creates a mood and kind of like lifts you up into the day. It's really, really nice. So I've been really enjoying that. So if you don't know Anouar Brahem, this is a really nice record. This is kind of, as the picture suggests, a very sort of austere, almost like a soundtrack to, like an Ingrid Bergman film or something like that, or Ingmar Bergman film, sorry. It's got a very melancholic sound in the best sense of the word, and I really like this record. This was the first Le Chat Noir. This is the first Anouar Brahem record that I really got into, and then I got this one too, which is really nice on CD, Souvenance, which I don't know what that means in English off the top of my head, but this is a really nice record. But this newer one, well, no, actually, this isn't new. This is 2017. That's new to me. Is wonderful. And it reminds me of the Australian, I don't know if you call them jazz, but the Australian outfit, the Necks. And this sounds a lot like that, which I understand the Necks do a lot of improvisational stuff. They kind of lay down some really nice rhythms and then improvise over that. But really worth giving it a listen. So stream it if you've got a streaming service, see if you like it. And it's a nice record to have on vinyl. ECM, obviously, production is outstanding and the sound is really good. So that's it for now. Carpe diem, MFs.